and what stories are making headlines on the individual papers. We're starting with the Punch. On the headlines of the Punch, it says electronic results transmission. Southern senators turn against governors, National Assembly members clash. On the rider, senators say National Assembly, NCC to determine when electronic transmission is feasible. Decision of the APC-led Senate shocking. It undermines our electoral process, PDP. Let's move to the Sun. The Daily Sun has on the headline, Senate whistles down provision on electronic result transmission, approves usage only when NCC certifies adequate secure coverage. OK's Buhari's fresh $8.3 billion loan. And on the New Telegraph, the headline says, Electoral Act, drama as Senate murders electronic transmission of results. INEC now to seek NCC NAS permission. Reps fight over e-voting adjourns to today. On The Guardian, 2023 in jeopardy as Electoral Act amendment splits National Assembly. On the rider, NCC lawmakers to take over INEC's mandate on electronic transmission of results, 52 for electronic voting, 28 against, 28 absent as Senate passes amendment bill. Gaya votes against own report. Abaribe, Boroface, Odia, Olujimi, Aduda amongst yes voters. Omo Agege, Ndume, Tinubu, Kalu, Adiola, Bamidele voted no. Reps exchange blows over electronic transmission of results. PDP Tambowal condemns Senate's position on e-transmission. Let's also take a look at the Daily Independent. On the headline, it says, Now's in rowdy session over electronic transmission of results. On the rider, Senate empowers NCC to decide transmission of electronic results. PDP Tambowal say upper chamber decision unconstitutional. Let's start with these papers first. They're giving us different angles as to what happened in yesterday's sitting.
Yeah, this is a long-awaited bill. Every Nigerian has sincerely been waiting for this bill to come, to be passed. And if you ask me, looking at the fears of Nigerians over in the last 1 month, when this issue started appearing, on the newspapers and in various news, you could see people are not happy to see that they were planning to tamper with this bill, long-awaited bill that would have given Nigeria hope and that would have redirected, our electoral processes. Looking at it, I think when we as a people, we still have not seen, the high consequences of certain things we are not doing right, because it's been known or been said severally that this electronic transmission will help to ensure, that electoral results are not tampered with or undermined by anybody. But look at where we are. We still have not been able to get it right. The Senate is divided along party lines, along ethnic groups, and then personal interests, over national interests. And that's what we've been crying out. Nigeria need the best. Nigeria really need the best. And I'm sure that the only people that now the future of this nation is left in their hands are the common Nigerians. They must decide how they want things to be. If those people who are representing them doesn't seem to know what to do. In 2023 is another chance we have to elect the leaders who can lead us. Not people who we know their names, not people who have been there before, but people who can lead Nigeria, who can make a change. Because we cannot continue. In 2019, last election, you remember what happened. There were a whole lot of issues in court, and before we finally got it right, because people felt things were not done the right way. And if we are still where we are in 2019, after all we've gone through, then I wonder how we can can make a difference. And really, the National Assembly today is divided along the lines of agreeing or not agreeing. Then today we also wait for the House of Rep to come up with their final verdict. And if you ask me, many Nigerians already predicted this event, and then they have cried out, they have shouted. But it's unfortunate that those who are concerned doesn't seem to listen to the heartbeat of the people. Nigerians need this. Nobody will say it is a wrong thing. Looking at the excuses they give, let's look at the excuses. Whether we have coverage, that can cover, that we have enough coverage to ensure that we have this kind of transmission. I think everywhere in Nigeria now there is presence of network, and then if it is not there, we still have a long time to say, okay, where and where do we not have this, so that we can make provisions. Because it is something that is, there are things that these are necessary things you feel can move the nation forward. You go extra mile, to add value to it than to just denounce it and put it behind just because it may favor some and it will not favor some. So I think we need to have a rethink. Maybe the bill may be passed, but even though it is passed, it has not also yielded the result. It has not also given Nigerians a hope. So as far as that remains what it is, Nigerians will continue crying out until they get what is required to produce good leaders that we need to change the course of our history. And that is where we are as a people. It's I don't know how many Nigerians feel the same way I'm feeling. I'm not feeling comfortable about it, because I felt that the Senate or the National Assembly would have done much more better than we are seeing in this very bill.
Okay, we've taken a look at about 5 papers, and they've all given us different angles to, the sitting and the developments from the sitting. So let's take your quick preview of, the different views that we've seen on the headlines this morning before we move on to the other papers.
Yeah, one, it said, that the FCC and NAS are now to decide, whether. So it means that if NCC even said the coverage is right, NAS also has a decision to say it is okay or not. So pending, and the powers also belong. It still goes back to the same people who said, they don't want it, and so we are not. You could see that there's no green light, in front there, and then somebody mentioned about murdering the electronic bill, and it was so because it was preempted. People saw it that this thing is coming. They shouted, they protested. Yes. So it was an intentional thing, that was done against electronic process of transmitting result. Then in that 2023 is that we are joining into another form of jeopardy, jeopardizing the electoral process. You see, all these are the truths. And then we have around section is because some people strongly believe that we are not getting what we want. I think there are some few heads in the National Assembly who feel Nigeria should move further than this. You remember this electoral bill was made to have come up before 2019, but it was also denied Nigerians. And the president agreed and told me that after the 2019 election, they are going to pass the bill. And Nigerians have been waiting. And now here we are. The major thing that could make a difference, a total difference in the electoral bill was not passed. So what have we done from that time till now? So if you ask me, I would say Nigeria expect much more than they are getting at the moment.
I think the meeting is adjourned till today, so we hope and expect further,
That's from the House of Rep members.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Let's quickly go on a short break, and when we return, we'll take a look at the other papers. Still talking, APC senators preparing grounds for mass vote rigging, PDP. On the People's Daily, it says Electoral Act Amendment, Senate bars INEC from electronic transmission of election results. On the rider, reps in rowdy session adjourned plenary to today. And on the Daily Trust, Electoral Act, INEC stripped of sole power to transmit results electronically. On the rider, must get clearance from National Assembly, NCC. Reps fail to pass bill, exchange blows. Action insult on INEC's independence, Jega CSOs. APC senators in haste to murder democracy, PDP. Only INEC has powers to regulate elections, lawyer. Let's take a look at the Leadership Friday edition. On the headline, it says Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Towing party line, 52 APC senators vote against electronic transmission. On the rider, Northern lawmakers set for showdown as reps reconvene today, summon INEC, NCC over feasibility of e-transmission of results. APC senators want to murder democracy, PDP. And on the Vanguard, it says, Electoral Act, reps in free for all, anger in Senate. On the rider, over electronic transmission of results, invites INEC chairman, NCCDG for clarifications on readiness for electoral transmission of results. Whittles down provision on electronic transmission of results. INEC to consider electronic transmission of results if national coverage is adjudged by NCC, approved by NAS, says Senate. And lastly, on the blueprint, it says Senate on Electoral Act Amendment, network coverage to determine e-transmission of results. On the rider, senators vote along party lines, reps in fisticuffs over clause. Dambata Yakubu appear before House today.
Yeah, still on this issue, because when you look at it, I must say it's a national issue, it's a national concern, and then it's something many Nigerians have looked up to see how we can redeem, our challenges of the past. But unfortunately, what we are getting is this. Let's talking about the issue of having a stormy section, yesterday, and then they're talking about resuming today. It's already clear where the pendulum will swing to. Why I say so is because another report also said that northern lawmakers, preparing for a showdown. So you could see that the country is divided along regional lines, along party lines. There's nothing about national interest. And then you look at it and you find out, why are we like this? Why have we become the people who are not willing to learn and improve the things of our society? We all have our different families, we have our different houses, and we try to do everything possible to make our English families work, to make things work for our personal businesses. But when it comes to Nigerian business, these lines are divided. I don't know why that up till now we've not grown beyond self, what we can benefit, or rather than the person that brought up the bill also in the House has been seen to also voted against it. Then you now began to understand the reason how did it come to be. There's been a lot of lobbying, from the news we've been getting a lot of lobbying going on. So is it because of what I will get that will now make me, to sell the conscience of our nation? So the National Assembly, this is the highest, thing that the nation, have expected them to do something and then make the people happy again. But unfortunately, we're not getting there. So people are talking about that this may cause a mass rigging. And that, what is mass rigging? The issue is that people voted, and what they voted for or against is not what is playing out in the report. And that's what this electronic thing would have avoided. That people will vote and immediately the result is transmitted so that it cannot be changed by any. We've seen a lot of issues when they said people were under the were made to sign certain results that are not meant to be. And all those things have been swept under the carpet. Nobody talked about anything and all of that. But looking at some other important issues that we are talking about, INEC, having INEC is supposed to decide how elections should be held, because the Constitution has given them the power, and I believe that as it were, maybe Nigerians in the next few days will begin to see what will come out of this thing. Because I believe that some Nigerians will not allow it to be swept under the carpet the way it is going. Maybe they will take these matters to court and see how it comes out. Because constitutionally, INEC has the power to organize. They should be independent, and that's what it is called. Independent National Electoral Commission. They should be independent. And these laws, however it is, as far as it is not for the interest of all Nigerians, I believe that very soon we'll also see something better coming out of this whole process.
Okay, so the papers again, looked at all these stories from different angles, especially the blueprint. I find it worrisome where it says network coverage to determine in transmission of results. I just feel like we've gotten to a point where this should not be the issues, just like you said earlier.
It shouldn't be the issue because we've grown beyond that, and I think we have enough network to cover every angle. And if that is the case, why not say, okay, polls should only be inside where there is network? I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, but that might make it difficult for people in rural areas to maybe move.
No, there's no place in rural area today that you can say in Nigeria that there's no network.
We can't say for sure.
I am a bit sure of what I'm saying. Most of these places, because see, voting is done at the ward level. And at the ward level, some people who don't even have a ward, if it's a smaller village, they have to move to the next ward to vote. And in those areas where they have wards, because if you say there are no this thing, electricity must be there. They are providing electricity to charge the what do you call it, the machines for the cars and all of that. So what I'm saying is that whatever it is, Nigeria has what it takes.
Yes.
To provide. Exactly.
Yes.
They can provide. With the level of technology we now have, it's something that is workable. But what we are saying is, truly, they have done their bits. We will not crucify them. And especially when it was thrown into votes, we realize that more people voted for and against. But we've always seen how much our representatives have been able to define processes, bring out policies that work for the goodness of the whole Nigerians.
Yeah.
We have seen how far, and that is what has also been displayed here, that I'm sure some of those people who voted did not really vote for what their people would have expected or what their people would have accepted. But the way it is, we keep pushing and moving forward, because the only way out is that Nigeria must be bailed out from these ugly things and let us see something beautiful, something new, because Nigeria is a great nation, and I believe that we have all it takes to build Nigeria. Today people are in power. Tomorrow it could change. So there's still hope that Nigeria will get it right.
Yes. And when we look at it, 2023 is just a few months away. So I think that instead of, when these policies are brought forward, instead of saying we can't do it because, or coming out rightly to say, okay, we don't know if we can do this because of network coverage, why don't we look at how can we achieve this? How is this achievable with the time that we have? And so we can move forward.
But right now, what process are you following? Some people, lately it was accepted or pronounced that young people tops the money of those who have really registered for these 2023 elections. And then, if these people are the ones who are going to vote and decide, now, by this what we're seeing, and if the result is going to be leaked and things are not going to work the same way it has been before, what is the fate and what is the thing is that I think our leaders should do much better. Nigerians are tired of the old system. They want something new. And if we continue to dwell in the old system, I think it is not going to be well for Nigeria and be well for everybody. And no matter how much you have today, you don't know what will happen tomorrow. Because the truth about it is that if Nigeria works, it will be good for all Nigerians. Then if Nigeria fails, it is going to also be bad for all Nigerians. If you leave this country today because you have what it takes to take your family to another country, you still live as a second-class citizen in those countries. Nigeria is our own, and nothing else should matter to us more than taking care of what will make Nigeria work. And that's my position. Really.
Okay, we've been fighting for change, and 2023 is like the best opportunity for us to achieve some of this change. And we just hope that this report brings some progressive news. Thank you very much, Mr. Chris, for being a part of the program and giving us your views on the papers this morning. And many thanks to you too for being a part of the program, Esther Thomas. And it's going to be a lovely weekend. I wish you a lovely weekend. Make sure to join us again on Monday for another. Bye-bye and have a nice weekend.